Hello, my name is Mary Copeland, and welcome to The Road Ahead. Through a series of guests, we are going to help you navigate your own road ahead as you age. We will help you and your aging parents prepare for your journey. Let's face it, nobody wants to find themselves in a crisis mode simply because they did not have access to information well in advance. As the publisher of Compass and Clock, we are going to help you achieve your best future. Today, our guest is Beth Pratt. Beth is the Community Relations Director for Village Concepts at their Parkview Villas, Port Angeles Assisted and Independent Living Community. Prior to Beth joining the team, she was the Activities Director at an independent retirement community in Sequim. Beth's passion is helping seniors find healthy, safe housing options. Beth, welcome to The Road Ahead.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here today because we have done episodes on in-home care, concierge services, and aging in place. So today we are going to talk about the different types of housing, senior housing options that are out there in your community. So why don't you just give our viewers an idea of the different options that are out there, if you could just name what those are, please.
Sure, it's an easy list once you know it. You start with independent retirement, which makes perfect sense. You're independent. Assisted living helps you with some things with your daily living. They're going to help you get dressed or take a shower, maybe manage your medications. Mm-hmm. If you need memory care housing, which is a very specific kind of assisted living, that's another option for folks with Alzheimer's and other dementia diseases. Also, you have skilled nursing and rehabilitation centers, and then you have continuing care communities. Those communities encompass most or all of those steps, so that a person, once they have moved to a community that's a continuing care community, a CCRC, they won't have to move again. Maybe to a different apartment, but not off the campus.
Okay, so why don't we break it down a little bit more. Tell us, what is the difference between an independent community and assisted living community?
So for Village Concepts of Port Angeles, where I work, we're both independent and assisted. That's not uncommon. Assisted simply means there is caregiving staff on site to assist with daily living needs. So those things like medication and dressing and bathing. An independent community simply doesn't provide those things. You can hire private caregivers, certainly if you're a resident of an independent community like that. But for communities like ours that do both, where you can be an independent resident who simply takes advantages of the amenities of senior living, over time you might need more help. It's built into the business. We can make what we call a conversion. It's a very fancy word that just means now our caregivers will assist you personally.
With activities of daily living, yes, such as bathing, medication reminders, toileting, etc.
All of those things. The simple things that we don't think about when we're younger.
So one of the senior housing options that you didn't mention are adult family homes. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Certainly. In Washington State, adult family homes can house 2 to 6 residents. They're often held in private homes or a private home-like setting. Residents might share a room. They provide services much like assisted living with cooking and cleaning built in. They might be a little bit less expensive, but they're also more limited on their services. They're a smaller space, often run by a family with a few employees.
But they do have that 6 resident limit.
Yes.
So it's more of a home-like setting for some folks, and depending on what their individual desires are, it's another option that's out there.
Absolutely. I think the culture of each of these options matters as much as what is offered. How comfortable are you there? And if you're more comfortable at home, an adult family home might be better for you than assisted living.
Yeah. So if somebody has issues that are beyond an assisted living community can provide, what are other options for them then when it comes to senior housing?
So there are several ways to approach this question because everybody ages differently. For those who have dementia diseases, be it Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, Parkinsonism, or any of the others, there's many, sometimes those folks do well in assisted living, right up to end of life. They never need a memory care community. However, with some of those diseases, folks decide that walking to Florida in their pajamas is a good idea at 3 a.m., or they are combative or argumentative or disruptive to other residents. In those cases, a memory care community is a better option. Those doors are locked to keep their residents safe, and they have activities planned for folks who have dementia to help keep them as engaged and in an active role in their community as possible. Sometimes folks need a nurse there 24 hours a day. They might need a nursing facility for that. There are some things that assisted living simply cannot do, and one of those things that we do not provide is a registered nurse service 24 hours a day.
Okay. So how do you know which is the best choice for yourself or a loved one?
It's a big question with all those options, isn't it?
It is.
So I always say, talk to your doctor. What does your doctor think you need? They don't have a whole picture, but it's not a bad place to start. Ask yourself, what do you want? Ask yourself, what do I want for my mom? Think about in terms of what you want, then go ask the questions. Start with whichever facility looks like the best option to you. Talk with their marketing people, their front desk folks. Get a feel for the community and ask them questions. They will tell you if they can care for your loved one or not based on their care needs, but you need to decide if you like the way you feel when you're there. And that's the big piece of the puzzle for me.
So most folks should, just like when you're shopping for a home, should go and tour these different communities and ask questions. And when they sit down with somebody that is doing the intake, they'll be asking them questions trying to find out what are your needs, what are your wants, what are your desires, what's your budget, were you a veteran, all those types of questions. Correct?
Absolutely, because there's a financial component. Can I afford this? And what can I afford? There's an emotional connection to it. Did I know people that lived here before, and how do I feel about it? There's the medical needs. All of those play a role. They're all very important, and I don't know a single person that gives a tour in a community that isn't proud to do so, who can't wait to show off the dining room, can't wait to invite folks in to have a cup of coffee or lunch or dinner as a part of that tour. I know I am. I love having tours. I love to be able to show off my staff, my building, and my residents, and introduce them to new folks.
And when you go on these tours, you call ahead to schedule and you'll get a free meal. So the food's important.
It is, and you know, that's a big piece. All of us offer housekeeping and caregiving. We all have a dining room and we all have an activity bus. But some of us just do it better. And some of us just do it differently. So which better is better for you?
Right.
You don't know till you try. So try them all. And I say go everywhere. When folks come to tour with me, there's only 5 assisted livings on the north coast of the peninsula. I give them names and phone numbers to call the other guys. Why? Because they're different. And I might not be the best fit. I think I am, but you have to think you are.
Right.
That I am.
So somebody is a resident in one of these senior housing communities out there in their neighborhood. What are the benefits? And if they're a resident, how can they, you know, thrive in place, really make sure that they're making the most of their new home?
I think that one of the most important pieces of the puzzle is get to know the staff that's working with you. Don't be afraid to talk with them. They're going to get to know you and they can provide you with better services if they know what you want. Jump into the activities. Go through that calendar. There's something for everybody. It's a good way to meet people. Get to know the folks in the dining room. We don't assign seating. Move around. Get to know folks. Take advantage of everything that's being offered. Then after you've been there a few months, think, what am I missing? And suggest it. I was an activity director for 10 years. My best activities were the ones suggested by residents and championed by residents. And that makes it more fun for everybody, because then it's not the company bringing it to the table. It's the people that live there and make it their home that make it that activity special. And if you can provide as a community what your residents really want because they're telling you, you've got it right. Your residents are going to be happy and healthy in place. The biggest thing that we do is offer a socialization aspect to living. While living at home, obviously, we all want to stay in our homes. But what if you live on 60 acres on a farm and you're alone and you can't drive anymore? And now you're out in a rural area without a car and alone. Well,
Isolated.
That's what we're here for.
Right. So we try to keep the episodes on the shorter side so that we can make sure that we can provide everybody with lots of information. So In wrapping up, what would you want to say to the viewers as it pertains to figuring out really what's the best for them, and talking more a little bit about the activities and socialization? Because I think that's really a key factor, because we want them to continue to enjoy life. This is just a new home, right? Home is where your heart is. So.
And at Village Concepts, it's about our village, our family. It's about our residents are a part of our family. The first time I walked through the doors of the building, I ran into a housekeeper at 7:30 in the morning who was laughing. That's telling. That's a happy environment. So when you walk into a building and you experience a happy environment, it makes you feel good. Well, if you live there and you hear laughter in the halls every day, and you can enjoy live music once a week, and you can look forward to a birthday party with your friends every month, and you get to go to the movies and to plays and to concerts and a Mariners game once a year on senior day, well, what's the bad side of that?
Right.
To me, I think that's everything. Making sure that folks make it their home. Decorate your apartment, bring your furniture from home, hang up family photos, get to know your neighbors. Nobody moves to assisted living that doesn't make a friend.
That's invaluable information. So for those of you that are out there that you're wondering, should I age in place, or is it time to start a new chapter and not take care of the lawn and the roof and any other maintenance that comes with the house, or climbing those 4 front steps anymore, it doesn't hurt to look. Go check out what all those different options are and do it in advance. You don't want to wait until you're in a crisis mode, because a lot of these communities have waiting lists. So you need to know if it's Medicaid eligible, you need to know if it's private pay, you need to learn all of these things. And my advice to you is do the research earlier on. So, Beth, thank you for enjoying us today. Thanks for enjoying us today. Thank you for joining us today and sharing all the knowledge that you have. You're really passionate about when it comes to the different senior housing options. And for those of you out there, have a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye.